Good morning. So, continuing the thoughts that we started yesterday with the idea of compassionate listening. And, as I was explaining some of the qualities of what the definition of compassionate listening includes, one of the big pieces of it is about non judgment. And I know non judgment is a challenge. It's a challenge for most people. I know it certainly can be a challenge for myself. We tend to, um, listen, but very often as we're listening, we're creating judgments. We're deciding in our head, is that person right or wrong? And if we've decided that they're wrong, then we're oftentimes getting caught up in our own heads then of how we're going to explain to them why they're wrong. And by doing that, we actually stop listening. We're not hearing the other person any longer because we're very much caught up in our own head of, again, justifying and explaining to them why they're wrong. Oftentimes, people can sense that kind of disconnect happening, and it creates a barrier because even if they don't completely understand what's going on, they sense it, they feel it, and they feel that barrier between you. They feel the closing off, and so then they shut down and kind of get lost in their thoughts of justifying back to you why they aren't wrong and they are right. And this kind of back and forth is, if it kind of continues unchecked, can just keep creating bad feelings, angry feelings, frustrated feelings, which again is only going to make situations worse and break down communication, as opposed to keeping the lines of communication and therefore further understanding open. So, judgment to me is a big and important thing for us to think about, to be aware of for ourselves, and to work on. I know that's definitely a priority in my own life that I continuously find myself going back to and trying to work on. It ties so nicely in with the idea of mindfulness. In the very definition of mindfulness by John Kabat-Zinn, who is one of the big leaders and teachers in the mindfulness movement, the very popular definition that he offers regarding mindfulness says, mindfulness is paying attention on purpose, non-judgmentally, in the present moment. And again, what he is saying by that is it's helping ourselves. Mindfulness is that ability to help ourselves to be aware, to pay attention to the thoughts and feelings we're having in the present moment. However, to do it all from a place of non-judgment for ourselves and for others. And just to tie that kind of piece in also with the idea of the compassionate listening, another angle or part of the definition of compassionate listening that we'll explore later on is it said, to be able to listen with the heart and to speak from the heart, but it was all very heart-centered. There's a quote from a man named David Augsburger, and he said, "An open ear is the only believable sign of an open heart." And again, when we can truly sit and listen to another, and they know that we are there listening to them without judgment, that is demonstrating our openness and our heartfelt openness. And again, creates a very strong connection where truly communication can take place. And the better our communication in life, the better our life and the better our world. So as a final thought before we go into our practice, Walt Whitman said, "Be curious, not judgmental." And I love that idea. Be curious, Be curious to hear what other people have to say from their experiences that are different than yours. Be curious means being open. Being judgmental means being closed. So, as part of our journey of being able to help become aware and release our own judgments for ourselves and others, again, mindfulness practice can be very, very helpful. And so for today, let's do our practice with that sense of really strengthening our skills at being able to get grounded and being still and setting that environment. So get comfortable. Take a nice breath in and out. And just sit comfortably and relax. And see if you can feel just one breath from the beginning through the middle to the end. Just letting yourself be aware of the breathing in and the letting out. And when you've done that for one breath, try doing it for another, and then the breath after that. Letting yourself sit. Just noticing and following. The in and out of your breath. And notice if you get distracted, perhaps by a thought, a feeling, a sound. And just notice the distraction. Placing no judgment. And returning to your breath. And you may find that you have to do this quite frequently. And just notice each time that you got distracted. And then return to your breath. Being aware that distractions will occur. But we can always choose to replace our attention on the moment and our breath. As you sit in the quiet, feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath as an anchor, and know that by going into this stillness, you are allowing your heart to open, allowing for connections to occur. All is well. Everything is working out for our highest good. Out of this situation, only good will come. We are safe. So hopefully, through that practice, you were able to feel a calming, a stilling, and an ability to become aware that distractions of all types are going to occur, and we can notice them and release them and not judge. As a final thought for today, there's a quote that says, "Everyone has untold stories of pain and sadness that make them love and live a little differently than you do. Stop judging, but instead try to understand. And remember, being non-judgmental, being understanding, doesn't mean you have to agree or condone the choices. But it does allow for you to connect with people, to keep a conversation going, to hopefully seek out a common ground that both can feel comfortable and respected and safe and empowered to be their best self. Have a wonderful day. Be non-judgmental. Be present in the moment. And listen with compassion. Be well.